Alrighty, folks, let's talk about the latest in the Tate brothers. Let's get you caught up to speed with background on what the hell they were doing in Miami in the first instance and why it's such a big deal that they were found here in the United States and why they're facing extradition to the United Kingdom. So let's get into what just happened a few days ago in Miami. On Saturday, Andrew Tate, age 39, and his brother Tristan Tate, age 38, arrested by United States authorities. British prosecutors have now brought new charges. So these are new, and these are in addition to other charges that the Tate brothers have been facing in Britain as well as in Romania, and we're getting into Romania in a second here. New charges against Andrew Tate, including 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of sex trafficking, 3 counts of assault, and 19 more charges relating to sexual images of children and, quote, extreme pornography, end quote. Tristan Tate facing 2 new charges of rape, 1 new count of sexual assault, and 3 new counts of sex trafficking. These are 2 brothers, ages 39 and 38, and these are new charges, folks, in addition to others they are currently facing in the United Kingdom. The Crown Prosecution Service issuing a video statement about these new charges, as well as the following written press release. They have decided to bring charges to prosecute these 2 men for the charges and the offenses I just read off to you. Now, the time frame for these offenses is between July of 2010 and August of 2017. Now, some of you may be asking yourselves, it's, July of 2026, what's going on? Well, look, people have been coming forward and they have been getting new evidence through the course of investigations. Now, the U.S. Marshal Service was the organization or the agency that effectuated the arrest in Miami on Saturday, July 18th. Prosecutors from the United Kingdom are seeking extradition of the Tate brothers to Britain, relating to the original 21 charges that those 2 men were facing. So if you're doing the math here, they had originally 21 charges that they were facing in the United Kingdom, and then they got the additional multiple that have been tacked on now. The head of the Special Crime Division at the Crown Prosecution Service, a man by the name of Malcolm. So folks, it looks like Malcolm McHaffey.
Tate brothers are back at it again. They're in Miami promoting a fight. And suddenly, while they're in Miami promoting a fight, what page is this on, by the way? While they're in Miami promoting a fight,
it's a bare
you get the
fight,
story.
yeah.
Social media influencers, Andrew and Tristan Tate, are arrested in Miami. And you see the video. I don't know if you have the video when they're going out there and arresting them. If you want to pull up the video of Tate, if you just type it on X, go on X, type in Tate arrest, you'll see the video while they pull up to him. And so Andrew and Tristan Tate were arrested Saturday in Miami after the UK sought their extradition on dozens of charges, including rape and sex trafficking. The Tates, who are brothers, millions of followers, they're kind of promoting them on who they are and what they were. The U.S. Marshal Service, this is it. Play the clip. To the U.S. Marshal, by the way. They said the arrests were made in accordance with the treaties and law enforcement agreement governing Justice Department extraditions. The brothers are expected to make an appearance at a federal court early next week. I think the court today, 9 o'clock, they were at court. Their lawyer, Joe McBride, for the brothers, said they are innocent. Andrew and Tristan Tate will walk free. America does not do Britain's political dirty work. Not here, never. The UK's Crown Prosecution Service said it authorized 42 charges against Andrew Tate, who is 39 years old. Tristan Tate, 38, faced 17 charges. The service said there's a total of 7 alleged victims, that goes into all these other stories. But the judge that they're facing, I believe today, I want to say the judge's name is Judge Lewis. I think hardcore level 10 type of a liberal judge that we're talking about. So who knows what's going to happen here? We know DeSantis' camp have never been fans of Tate's. They've even called him out. Last time Tate was on a podcast, he called out DeSantis. And James Huthmeyer, who's a star in Florida, this guy's going to end up doing something long-term politically. Very talented, very capable. He even said a few things on X about him. So some of this stuff has to do with child pornography is what they're talking about, which, to put that on them. Can you imagine UK, you have Rupert Lowe, who comes out with a report with 250,000 Pakistanis, with 87% of them being Pakistanis, this rape gang, and you hear nothing. But the first Muslim they go after is Andrew Tate. That's what it's come down to. Not all the other rape cases you have in your state that you release people. Not all the other stuff that goes on where judges comes out and says, no. This is their way of living. Leave them. Not that. Don't look at that. No, not at all. UK is a safe place. This rape stuff is not happening. It's just a propaganda. But let's go get this guy, Andrew and Tristan Tate. It becomes a little bit weird. Yeah, right there. Hootmar, can you go to that tweet? How the turntables, breaking Andrew and Tristan Tate, have been arrested in Miami. Obviously, they can't stand those guys on what they're doing. So, you have a thing going there. I'll pause right here. Vinny, your thoughts on this case here?
Well, first, Pat, and again, people out there, they're these guys with the women. Listen, put all that aside. If you can't tell that this is all politically driven and motivated, like, you're being delusional, okay? I know Andrew. I know his brother. I can't speak for every single thing, every little minuscule thing, but you know what? When you talk, and I'm not blaming them, Pat, but when you talk about the system, when you constantly are talking about the powers that be and the matrix, it's not surprising that they're always going to come after you and they're never going to stop. I remember when Andrew, he was speaking to somebody and he said, the way that they work is first they take your money, then they try to destroy your reputation through the media, and then they try to kill you, okay? And as it seems, they're still working on the second one because this is going to be nonstop. This will never, ever, ever stop, Pat. And when it comes to this world of women and whatever, as we've learned through all the stuff that America's going through with all these false allegations with people just coming forward, all you need is an allegation. That is it. And if there's somebody in the system that hates you, they even look for these type of females. They look for these type of girls that say, oh, were you with him during this time and this time? Okay, just say this, we'll give you some money. That's how it's working. That's how it is. And you know what? I'm sorry, Pat, if you're living a life, and we had this conversation with who in the car the other day? With the kids. And I was telling them, guys, they're like, well, what happened, Uncle Vinny? Did he do? I go, listen, just know this. This will never happen to you if you treat women with respect and dignity. You find the girl that you love, you get married, blah, blah, blah. When you have a pool of 1,000 women, guys, the odds of some of them coming forward, even if it's a lie, are very, very high, especially when there's money involved and especially when there's people of high power that want to destroy you, and you're seeing it in real time.
Yeah. Adam, let's try you one more time.
PBD, you got me now, sir?
Go for it. Let's test it out.
Great. Well, listen, I'll tell you, much like the 50 Cent album, Iran didn't want this podcast to come out. They must have done some internet blackout. But I'm here in a bunker ready to give you some answers. So we're talking about Andrew Tate. Is that right?
Yes.
So let me just lay it on you with the Tates. I like the Tates. I'm rooting for the Tates. I think the Tates are the definition of poking the bear too hard, and now they're getting done dirty. And people don't want to hear what they have to say. Question for you guys, what were they charged with and convicted of all the things in Romania?
I don't think
I'll give you the quick answer. It was nothing.
Zero.
They were convicted of nothing. So now the UK is going back in time like they're Michael J. Fox to try to find something and pin it on Tates. They continue to win. You might not like them, and it's totally okay to disagree with them. What you should be appalled by is the justice system in the UK. At this point, their credibility is at an all-time low. So I'm rooting for the Tates. I don't know what the latest iteration of their situation is, but you know how they say some people are built for this? Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate are built for this, and I hope they get out.
Adam, much better audio. Tom, go for it.
So obviously, this is Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, which is sort of FBI of the UK. And you saw the U.S. Marshals. Did the U.S. Marshals come in there with dogs, some 10 guys? No. They walked up to him. They said, hey, we have a warrant here. You got to come with us. It was calm. There was no drama. Their security guy, the guy with the beard, was just kind of standing there. It was orderly. His associate was allowed to come up and talk to him. So the U.S. is just sitting there saying, well, we have a treaty with the UK, and this is an extradition request, guys, so you got to come with us. You may not like it. I don't know what it's about. But we, you know, what I'm glad is we didn't throw them on the ground and do all the things you could do, but we simply kind of executed on it. However, that's the part that people need to understand. This was us obeying a treaty with the UK, and it's the UK diving into this, and it just goes to show you, if the FBI or the CPS or MI6, if somebody wants your hide, they are going to move heaven and earth to get it.
Yeah, they will. But by the way, if you're part of a rape gang in UK, 250,000 and 87% being Pakistanis.
And they don't want your hide.
But no, don't touch those guys. No, not them. Not them. Let's go to a different place. So here's kind of where I'm at with this. Look, I always said the following. If they find something and you did it, it is what it is. I mean, it's that's the court's job. Go find it. The lawyers got to do their part. Prosecutors, everybody's got to do their fight. And then we find that and the world says, okay, they did or they didn't. But that's on you to pull off. Nothing so far you've been able to pull off. Everything is allegation. Another 4 girls came. Another 3 girls came. Another 2 girls came. And is that a byproduct of the life they lived? Yes. Is that a byproduct of how crazy stuff they said? Yes. Does that piss off a place like UK? Sure. But UK loses credibility in this place where they don't do their part to protect the British people, the nationalists, the people that actually love their own country. Britain's losing credibility for having 7 prime ministers in 10 years. And I think they just announced a recent one. If they haven't, they're about to. I think the guy's name is Andy Dunham. He's another
No,
leftist.
he's in just now.
Oh, he's in.
He's
Okay,
in.
he's
You're right,
officially
just
in.
now.
So 7 prime ministers in 10 years. You think you have any credibility? You? UK?
These guys, these 4 middle-aged, Tom is the oldest, I think Pat is the second oldest, and then you have Adams and Vinny. What has this got to do with the prime ministers of the United Kingdom? They are falling short to point to the fact that everything that is being said to have allegedly been, all the crimes that are said to have been allegedly committed by Andrew Tate and his brother are the things that they themselves used their own mouth to say that they were doing. So they're omitting all of that. They are omitting that these guys have snitched on themselves long time ago. Because who on earth is going to say the things that Andrew Tate and his brother was saying without actually doing, because they know those things were wrong. There's a video where Andrew Tate was saying the girl was 15, and then all of a sudden he changed it and says 16, and then he asked the other guy what age, just because he said something and he was like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. There is also a video of his brother saying that he likes to take young girls' virginity, and they are in pain and they cry, but he loves it. There are countless videos of these guys saying the things that they said. And let us not forget that most of these girls were really young. Really, really young. And you know, when you can manipulate a young girl, threaten them, sometimes they are scared. What? They're scared of what people will think of them. They're scared of what their parents will think of them. They're scared of how life is going to be if they come out. But now that they are now that they are mature and they are responsible to themselves, some of them are thinking like, if I don't go out and say these things, other girls that are the same age that I was might go through these things. So these 4 guys, I don't know if Tom has got children, but PBD has got children. Adam hasn't got children. I don't think he's ever going to have any. I don't know about Vinny, if they've got children. These guys are to be blamed, nobody else. But it is shocking to see them like not even identifying that these guys, they should be saying these guys are our friends. Why? What they should be doing is advise other young men who are out there in social media, on the social media platform. Mind the things that you say. The one thing that Vinny said in this video that makes sense is when, I don't know, some kids asked him if Andrew Tate and the brother are guilty, and he said, guys, you have to treat girls nice. You have to respect girls. And you have to be careful with the amount of girls you have around you, because something might happen to one of them and you think it's okay and you think they like it, and sometime in the future they might come out and say we did not like it. Because remember, sometimes girls are pressured to do things that they don't want to do, and then later on they might come out and say I did not actually like what you did. Or sometimes some girls might be forced to do some things, and then later on they will realize like, oh shit, I was being exploited, and then they'll come out to say it. So I don't know if they're guilty, but we've seen them saying the things that have been alleged, that they have been alleged that they did. So I don't know, the case in Romania, don't know what happens, but this is a new case in the UK. So let's see what happens. PBD and your people, It is what it is. You guys are always the metrics, they. Forgetting that you too, you guys also are the same. You guys are the same. But let's see what happens to this case. Because they are going to be coming back to the United Kingdom to face the drum. Mind what you see when you're on social media.